Hey, what's going on everyone? Sparks again with another character discussion video. Are you aware that onions have layers? Our resident unspecified Onion Knight has two layers, one for magic and one for melee. He was purpled ages ago, back when his realization was first available, and after a surprise burst pull and an LD pull immediately after, he is fully maxed out for me. So if you want to know what my favorite chainer in the PSP Dissidio games does, what he offers to a team, and what I think of him, stick around and find out. Onion Knight is a mixed physical and magical attacker who works with ice, being able to imperil it, self-enchant it, and also party enchant it. He has two job modes, Sage and Ninja, with Sage being magic focused and doing group damage, while Ninja is exclusively single target. To accentuate that, his EX and his burst have two versions depending on what job he's in. With his LD, he gains a bit more stat aura to add to what he already has, as well as gaining good personal boosts. Most interestingly though, with his LD cast, he can affect party turn order and also gives the whole party a free skill cast on their next turn. His skill 1 is Blizzard Combo, a 5-hit ice magic attack. This will grant him 2 stacks of the Sage buff, which raises his normal attack stat and also his magic attack stat. At 3 stacks, this also gains a party attack aura. Depending on the stat count of Sage, his Brave Attack and Blizzard Combo are changed. If Sage is less than 3, his Brave Attack becomes 1 ice hit. While Sage is at least 2, Blizzard Combo gains splash HP damage. While Sage is 3, his Brave Attack becomes Blizzard Plus, a 5-hit ice magic attack. His skill 2 is Multi-Hit, a 6-hit non-elemental melee attack. This will grant him 2 stacks of the Ninja buff, which raises his physical attack and his speed, as well as small generic buffs for max bravery and attack. At 3 stacks of Ninja, this also gains a party attack aura at the same strength as Sage 3. Similar to Pinello, these stacks are basically swapped out for each other depending on which skill you use, and the stat count is preserved as you switch between them or if it is removed. Also similar to Sage is that while Ninja is at least 2, the overflow of multi-hit is improved, while Ninja 3, his Brave Attack becomes 6 non-elemental melee hits. Like I mentioned earlier, his EX will change depending on which job he's in, with the default being Blade Torrent, at base a 6-hit non-elemental HP attack done twice. With Sage active, this is instead Meteorite, 6 single target distributed hits with the last hit and the HP attack done on the selected target. No matter which form his EX is in, it'll reapply and max out the unique buff of that job. The EX Plus came out around the start of the Imperil enchant changes, which made him a lot more self-sufficient as a damage dealer, on top of boosting his damage output overall. Realization improves the potency of both forms, applies an Ice Imperil after the HP attack of Meteorite or after the first HP attack of Blade Torrent, and gives Onion Knight a new buff, Forbidden Lands Power, which is a self-ice enchant and a party overflow aura. It also changes the HP attack of Meteorite to do total group damage. 1 ingot is a stat boost, minimal but handy. 2 ingots gives him starting Forbidden Lands Power and also gives him something similar to Lightning's 2 ingot boost. Free first turn skill, first turn has instant turn rate and doesn't add to turn count, and his EX gauge is 1 skill from being charged. So you're intended to basically pick which job you're going to start with and then go into EX to max out the buff. 3 ingots greatly improves the potency of both Blade Torrent and Meteorite, as well as further improving his HP attack depending on which job he's in. While in Ninja, he gains 3 brave hits with good overflow, while in Sage, he does 1 group ice hit with splash HP damage. His LD is Sword and Sorcery, 8 ice melee hits into single target HP, followed by 5 ice magic group hits into split HP. After the melee HP attack, this will apply an Ice Imperil onto all targets. This does a few things, the first of which is give Onion Knight a new unique effect, Job Level 99, which raises his attack, overflow, brave and HP damage dealt, self-granted buff duration, and the party's max bravery. Second, you'll notice the first thing he does when you select the LD is he selects a unit. That's because this LD also moves the other 2 units immediately after Onion Knight, whoever you choose acting after the LD cast. And lastly, it gives all units a free skill cast on their next turn, which is something very handy for Onion Knight specifically, as he can use it on his additional ability which grants a party ice enchant. The LD passive raises his max bravery and attack. Just like his EX, Onion Knight has 2 burst finishers depending on which job he's in. The default is Ninjutsu, an 8-hit ice melee attack done twice. If he's in Sage, this will be Spellbook instead, a 12-hit ice group attack with split HP damage. Ninjutsu has higher single hit limits, while Spellbook has higher total health limits, which makes sense given how each attack operates. No matter which finisher you do, 75% of the burst aura will be the same. Increases to Party Brave and HP damage done, Stolen Overflow, and single hit limit break. And then depending on which finisher he does will determine which type of attack he boosts. Physical attack if he used Ninjutsu, and magical attack if he used Spellbook. While the finisher and the effect are certainly good, I feel like the best part of the burst is getting another cast of the LD in the burst phase, giving you another opportunity for turn manipulation and free skills for the party. Onion Knight is a fairly simple and fast character. His damage is consistent, he'll hit weakness, which means he's basically only locked out of fights that resist ice, his EX is up often, and his LD is a fantastic tool. Turn manipulation, higher skill longevity for the whole party, great personal boost via his unique effect, and then a bit more auras to add onto the attack and overflow auras he already provides. However, while his personal ability is definitely made better thanks to his LD, I think his whole shifting EX thing actually makes him a bit awkward. Hear me out. So generally, Lufenia at this point is essentially a skill fest, right? Onion Knight has at base 14 skills, with his opening free cast and 3 LD casts providing 4 more. Honestly, 14 skills is not a lot, and due to the enabling and extra party damage he can give with his enchant additional ability, it's not the worst idea to use the LD free skill cast on that, depending on the situation of course. With how powerful and long lasting his LD effect is, you likely will not want to use it up too fast just for free skills and turn manipulation. Depending on the fight, you'll want to prefer using your EX in one form over another. For example, if you're against multiple targets, you'll likely want to use Meteorite. If you need to do a bunch of brave damage or you're only against a single target, you'll want to use Blade Torrent. This sense of micromanagement of his EX to get the best version of it is honestly a bit weird and not too conducive for Lufenia, where you're somewhat expected to just use skills every turn to keep up damage. What's more is the fact that Onion Knight hasn't gotten a skill efficiency rework in ever, I think. Both of his skills are only 1 HP attack, with only his LD and EX and burst finisher while in Ninja offering more. Granted, it's completely possible I'm just not playing him the best, or I'm not putting him in the best team. But as it stands, his skills just don't feel efficient enough versus what his enchant provides as a free skill instead. With all that in mind, Onion Knight as a burst unit is due for decently strong upgrades eventually. Let's start with his extensions. Honestly, with what job level 99 provides, he doesn't directly need more brave damage output, just less leakage. Considering his job buffs are made to retain level while switching and also don't expire, I don't see why not give him plus forms at 3 stacks of either. Split a Blizzard combo plus into 2 HP attacks, with total splash at the end. Split a multi-hit plus into at least 2 HP attacks. If they're feeling spicy, even turn it into like a 3-hit attack done 3 times for a total of 9 hits, with HP damage return in between. As for his LD extension, a few things come to mind. Double the amount of HP attacks in the whole cast. Split the melee attack into 2 4-hit attacks, split the magic attack into 3 hits followed by 2 hits with HP damage return in between. I don't really think he needs much else for job level 99, but being able to start with a lower duration version of it would be nice. Or maybe even better, they give another use of the skill outright. Somewhat on top of his core skill reworks though, I think he needs a bit more, a follow-up, since like I mentioned at the start in the PSP Dissidia games, Onion Knight had chaining skills throughout his kit there. Squall's condition for his follow-up is just having his unique effect up, so keep the same idea for Onion Knight. Have the follow-up change depending on his job, but have it do what the other job does. Really accentuate the combo in Blizzard combo. A follow-up in Sage would have single target damage, while a follow-up in Ninja would have group damage. That way, no matter which job he's in, any performance gap won't be that big. Last but not least, as a burst unit, Onion Knight will be due for a burst plus, giving him another turn in burst phase as well as an on-demand finisher for the damage and the aura. I don't know exactly what direction they're going to take Onion Knight with his burst plus, as much as I can hope. If they want to make him more of an attacker, then they could increase the number of HP attacks in both forms of his burst finisher as well as the overflow amount. Turn Ninjutsu into a set of 3 HP attacks corresponding to each movement of the finisher. Turn Spellbook into a set of 4 HP attacks corresponding to each spell cast. Easy. As for a more supportive boost instead, increase the duration of his aura and also give him a party ice enchant, similar to what Bart's got with his burst plus. Also possibly add in boosted party weakness damage to take advantage of the party enchant. Onion Knight is kinda on the fence in that he provides offensive auras and can provide more of them as a burst unit, but also as a burst unit, he should be able to put out a decent amount of damage all by himself. So yeah, that's a purple Onion Knight. Back when he got his EX+, a lot of things were lining up for him in his favor. imperiled changes, an at the time great set of EX Plus upgrades, and Entropy 8 to show off those new changes. And guess what? That was all about a year ago. Over the course of that year, a lot has changed for everything and everyone. You know what I'm talking about. But for Onion Knight, even getting an LD and burst, he's sort of been left in the dust, as while he has gotten a rework after the introduction of his extensions, they weren't really that extensive and at this point are a sign of their age. With how many personal offensive boosts his LD gives him, it's definitely a shame that his offenses aren't exactly at the top. He can do great work as the main offensive, brave attacking unit of a party, don't get me wrong, but he's a bit less Cloud and a bit more Furion, offering a variety of good offensive boosts to the party, but not quite being overwhelming in the damage he can put out, even as a self-sufficient burst unit. If you like this character breakdown and want to see others like it, other Opera Omnia content, or want to share your thoughts, be sure to stick around and subscribe. Discussion, likes, and shares are always appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.